go completely against Harry's own woke credentials.
Shit shower shave, obviously. Normally when you're 40 or older, never trust a fart. But you're young and you, on the M25, shout your pants via a fart. That's hilarious.
How crude and rude and disgusting this man is. No wonder Meghan Markle wants nothing to do with him these days.
What is the point of marrying a Prince of England if you're not going to get FaceTime with the head royal in the palace?
Prince Harry had one job: walk into a huge podcast, promote the Invictus Games, remind everyone why veterans deserve support, and leave with the cause looking stronger than ever. Instead, he introduced himself as Prince of England, stumbled when explaining what he actually does today, and jumped into a run of awkward jokes about grooming, body hair, and bathroom mishaps.
To say this man is a disgrace to the British royal family, to say this man is so diminished that he would now leave his late grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, rolling in her grave. To say this man is crude and rude and a bully and a homophobe and all of those things that he has proclaimed he is not over the past few years is also an understatement.
This all happened during the same explosive week. Harry lost a massive court fight, blasted the ruling, reunited with King Charles, and reportedly left Prince William absolutely furious. How does one man turn what looked like a royal comeback into a full-blown public identity mess in just a few days?
It's not hilarious, is it? This man is revolting. Can you believe that he's doing this to the British royal family?
The podcast was meant to show Harry at his best. It was supposed to reveal a funny, easygoing man behind the royal title. But many critics did not hear a focused Invictus founder. They heard a 41-year-old prince working overtime to sound like one of the lads, while the real purpose of his appearance disappeared beneath the chatter.
Put himself in a position where he is trying to keep up with the mainstream. He is trying to appear cool, if you call that cool. And it's very unbecoming of a man who is the son of the king. He's degraded himself, and he's going to continue to do it. I think he feels emboldened by the life that he has now, considering he can come and go. His dad will grant him time. He still has his adjacent life to the monarchy, and he feels like he can just go do whatever he wants to do.
Before we continue, I want to mention something really quick. Organizing your family's important information is one of those things most of us know we should do, but we keep putting it off. That's exactly why there's the Family Vault. It gives you one place to organize your important documents, insurance, medical information, passwords, and more, so everything is easy to find when it's needed. You'll find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That's all. Now, let's get back to today's story. Was this really the image Harry wanted linked to wounded veterans, royal reconciliation, and the biggest legal setback of his entire week? Or did he once again become the headline himself and push the charity into the shadows? The first red flag appeared when Joe Marler asked Harry about his occupation.
Asked Harry's occupation, and it became clear that the only thing he still leans on is being a royal.
Harry replied, "Full-time dad, British Army veteran, Prince of England," before mentioning Duke and founder of Invictus. That brief answer exposed a much bigger issue. Harry stepped back from royal duties, moved to California, and spent years explaining why the institution let him down. Yet when someone simply asked what he does, his royal identity came out almost instantly.
Prince Harry has just admitted what we all have thought for several years now, that the gentleman is unemployed. He has no apparent job.
After Netflix, Spotify, charity work, speaking events, and business projects, was Prince still the only title that truly made him feel important? Then the interview took another wild turn. The conversation drifted into grooming jokes, personal body stories, and tales about losing control on a motorway.
Asked about his grooming routine, he decides to talk about something he describes as shit, shower, and shave, leading to a truly repulsive conversation about his pubic hair that is completely unbecoming.
What's your grooming routine with your auburn?
It's a shit shower shave, obviously.
Shit shower and a shave?
Yes.
So you answering?
How did you get rid of it?
Harry laughed along, joined the banter, and kept everything rolling. Some listeners dismissed it as harmless rugby humor. Fair enough. But this was not a private locker room. This was a public appearance connected to Invictus, released while Harry was trying to look responsible, dependable, and worthy of rebuilding trust with the king.
What we see here is a lot of the nasty sides of Harry.
You only asked that question because you must have shot yourself multiple times yourself.
Says a lot more about you than it does
Us. Yeah.
Can he really ask for royal respect one day and act so casually the next? The contrast could not have been clearer. Harry has spent years presenting himself as a mental health advocate, a trauma survivor, a producer, a humanitarian, and a serious public figure. During this podcast, those identities collided with awkward jokes and playful digs.
The real Prince Harry is nothing like the woke Prince Harry that he's tried to present himself as.
He teased another Harry's voice, joked about tight shorts, and kept trying to prove he fit right into the group. Was he genuinely comfortable? Or was he pushing so hard to seem ordinary that he accidentally revealed how uneasy he has become with his own public image?
So in this interview, the language is obscene. Smutty humour, swear words. There are jokes about his reproductive organs, other intimate details that we don't want to know about.
The interview also included meaningful moments. Harry spoke about sport, nature, swimming, and staying active, helping people break free from destructive mental patterns. He said his family and his dog help him laugh after difficult days.
Asked what makes him laugh at the end of a difficult day, he said, "My dog makes me laugh. My children make me laugh. A laugh at the end of a hard day is the best medicine served." Now, do you notice who Harry did not say makes him laugh? A certain Meghan Markle.
Those comments connected perfectly with resilience and Invictus. But what grabbed all the attention? Not the veterans, not the games, not the recovery message. The headlines centered on Prince of England, the awkward jokes, and Harry's unusual attempt to sound laid back. Once again, the mission faded away, while the Sussex drama stole the spotlight.
Any chance of like shortening that?
Harry.
Harry?
H.
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 Hey.
Oh my God. Henry, Charles, Albert, David, Jacob, Sussex. Yeah, it's a long one, man. Just call me H. I'm H.
It's interesting, isn't it, that Harry's level of self-loathing has got to the point now where he uses the dismissive nickname given to him by Meghan Markle, who of course never calls him Harry, but calls him H, which I think is rude and obnoxious.
That is exactly why Tom Sykes described the appearance as a branding nightmare. Harry looked like he was chasing the Mike Tyndall formula. Rough humor, sport, relaxed confidence, and zero royal formality. But Mike Tyndall is not spending one day criticizing a court ruling, another reopening family tensions, and the next presenting himself as Britain's biggest victim.
He was always within the royal circle to be protected, to have his image cleaned up, or to help him with that. Right now, he doesn't have anyone around him controlling anything that he does. He's just going to continue to make his reputation mud. He's going to look like a man-child.
Harry has created too many different versions of himself. Warrior Harry, Wounded Harry, Royal Harry, Hollywood Harry, Campaigner Harry, Angry Harry, and now Lads on Tour Harry. Which version is the public actually supposed to believe?
Prince Harry is a 41-year-old man-child who wants to talk about shitting himself and his pubic hair. I actually think that is the real Prince Harry, and everything else has been a construct, a creation, and we're now seeing the real man. He's vacuous, there's nothing there. Everything else has just been a creation by Meghan or by David Sherborne or by royal courtiers. This is actually the real Harry.
Right.
Mark Dolan pushed the criticism even further and called the podcast a public relations train wreck. His wording was harsh, but the main question hit hard. What is Harry's real job now? Spotify ended the Sussex deal. Their Netflix partnership has delivered fewer major projects than many expected. Harry's public position at BetterUp has shifted. Speaking events no longer generate the same buzz.
I mean, let's be honest, brand Sussex is dead. Everything they touch is a disaster. They've got the political, well, I was going to say the social awareness of two of the most tone-deaf people in the world, but at least he's ticked a box, Charles.
Invictus remains his strongest achievement, yet even an appearance focused on Invictus quickly turned into another debate about Harry himself. What happens if the royal title can no longer carry everything? Then Andrew Morton delivered what may have been the toughest assessment of all. Morton said Harry once had genuine charisma. He walked into a room and people naturally liked him. He was fun to be around.
He used to be fun.
Yeah.
He was a fun guy, but he's turned into an embittered, middle-aged man.
But the Diana biographer argued Harry has become an embittered, middle-aged man whose frustration and resentment risk spilling into everything he does. That is far more damaging than one uncomfortable podcast moment. Morton was pointing to a much bigger pattern. The cheerful prince who once raced Usain Bolt and won over crowds has become someone who always seems to be battling somebody.
What do people most often get wrong about you?
That I'm not ginger.
Hang on. People get that wrong?
Yeah, people think I'm ginger, but I'm more sort of like sunset, like Auburn.
Yeah?
I don't know why that's funny.
Can we not laugh at the Duke, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you want to call me Ginge. You know, I got bullied a lot at school. It's called Carrot Top, wasn't I?
Sorry.
I don't know why they would do it.
Not funny.
It's not funny.
I'm going to need therapy after this, I think.
Oh, it's just such a joke, isn't it?
Morton argued Harry keeps looking behind instead of ahead. Old newspaper stories, old family disputes, old security battles, old disagreements with William, old pain connected to Diana. He has spent years trying to prove what happened, who let him down, and why his version deserves to be believed. Morton compared that with Diana near the end of her life.
So this horror show of an interview reveals a lot of worrying things about where Harry is at right now, his mental state, and how he sees his role in British public life.
She was focused on new charity work, a new home, and a new future. Harry says he is protecting his mother's legacy, but is he following her example or repeating struggles she appeared ready to leave behind? Just look at the week Morton was talking about. Harry returned to court over claims linked to reporting from years earlier. The judge dismissed the case after issuing a judgment stretching across hundreds of pages.
No wonder Prince William wants nothing to do with his younger brother who has become a disgrace. No wonder the mainstream media is completely ignoring this podcast interview.
Harry did not slow down. He called the outcome a whitewash and publicly criticized the decision. Then he moved straight into Invictus Events, a comedy podcast, and a royal reunion without easing the tension for even a moment. Is that resilience? Or has conflict become Harry's normal mode, even after the fight is already over? Morton also said Harry confused inference with evidence and described the case as a $53 million mistake. He questioned why anybody allowed it to reach that stage. That financial figure is an estimate discussed during the interview, but the wider cost is much harder to ignore. Years of legal expenses, endless meetings with lawyers.
So Harry thinks he's hilarious here. This is the problem. He's been given this captured audience, but as Princess Carparkle put it, no, love. You quit the prince job. You might still have the title for now, but it's not your occupation. Neither is Duke. Full-time, stay-at-home dad sounds about right.
Old relationships pulled back into headlines. Witnesses facing renewed scrutiny. A marriage living beside constant legal battles. How much of Harry's future can move forward if he keeps paying to revisit his past? That question also lands right on Meghan. Morton pointed out that Harry has spent much of their marriage looking back, while reports have often suggested Meghan wants to focus on what comes next. She has promoted lifestyle products, media ventures, and building a California brand. Harry keeps returning to the palace, the British press, and the battles that shaped his younger years.
After everything failed, the way back is to remind the world again that she's a member of this royal family. It's so interesting to me. The one thing that makes her interesting is that she married a royal. So trying to run away from that is just a terrible brand strategy. It's an awful thing too on a human level, on a family level, but I don't think for 1 minute she wanted to meet the king so that she could fix this family. I think it was a business decision, a business idea.
One partner is trying to build a new chapter. The other keeps reopening the old one. How long can those completely different paths exist without putting real pressure on the marriage? And this was the man King Charles welcomed into Highgrove. Not the carefree prince people remembered from 20 years ago. Not a quiet son arriving with a clear apology. Harry came in after a court defeat, a strongly worded public statement, and a podcast that quickly became the subject of criticism. Charles still met with him, Meghan, Archie, and Lily.
She wanted the king's embrace. And if she got that seal of approval, that good housekeeping seal of approval, she would be able to monetize that. She would be able to use that to her advantage. And the palace was very smart on this one. They said, come and meet him. He's an old man. He wants to meet the grandkids. He's a father here. He's not a king. He's a grandfather here. He's not a king. And because of all that, because of all the above, there will be no official photographer there. There'll be no photographs leaked.
Queen Camilla was reportedly there as well. Harry walked away with the royal contact he had wanted for years. Was that simply a father's compassion? Or did the timing make the decision far more complicated? The familiar Highgrove details do not need repeating again. The meeting stayed private. No official photograph was released. No major palace statement followed afterward. Harry reportedly agreed not to discuss the conversation publicly. The bigger question now is what Charles already knew before that meeting happened. Did he know how strongly Harry would respond after the court ruling?
Maybe a few years ago we would have thought that type of shtick was cute, but now we see Harry for what he really is. But as I say, there are a lot of people saying that this meeting isn't disastrous because in some ways it was Prince Harry and Meghan Markle having to kiss the ring. I mean, look at this picture tracked down from Prince William's jaw. I did quite like that because, of course, there would have been a part of Camilla who was there to listen in, to make sure no lies were told, and to make it clear whose terrain these two were now on.
Did he know what had already been recorded on the podcast? Did he realize every new controversy would now be connected directly to his decision to reopen that door? Queen Camilla's presence changes the entire picture. Harry criticized her in spare, accused her of sacrificing others for favorable press, and described her as dangerous. Yet when he wanted access to Charles, Camilla was sitting right there. She reportedly wanted to support her husband and spend time with Archie and Lily.
Prince William's fury at what he views as King Charles's betrayal for going ahead with this meeting with Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Archie and Lily without securing any type of capitulation from the Sussexes, without securing any sort of apology from the Sussexes. It is truly awful.
Harry could not ask to see the king while acting as if the queen was not part of the family. He had to face the woman he had publicly criticized. Was that genuine reconciliation? Or was Charles making Harry confront the consequences of his own words? Then came the reaction surrounding William. The Sunday Times reported that William would not welcome the reunion. Tom Sykes went even further, claiming the Prince of Wales viewed Charles's decision as a betrayal.
There's nothing cute about this. There's nothing ordinary about this. It's not about Harry the cheeky chappy. This is just about a man who is degrading what he should be about. A man who has spent years trying to convince us that he is some type of amazing academic thinker, that he's an intellect, that he's fighting for true causes. Whereas actually, do you know what Harry wants to do? Harry wants to drive a conversation about people shitting themselves on a motorway.
That wording did not come from Kensington Palace, so it remains an attributed claim. Even so, the reasoning behind it is easy to understand. Harry revealed private details about William, criticized Catherine, challenged the institution, and offered no public apology before Charles agreed to the meeting. Why would William see that as peace? Why would he not see it as pressure paying off? William has spent years preparing to inherit the monarchy. Harry continues to criticize. He watched private family conversations become interviews, documentaries, and chapters inside Spare.
So she desperately wanted a photograph. We know the world we live in. We know the world of social media. We want to see a picture of the king, of Meghan, of the children, of Harry, of everybody smiling. The palace said absolutely not. This is not a state visit. This is not even an official visit. This is a family visit. And so there's no photographs. And so because of that, I think that's the clearest example I have of why this didn't exactly work out the way she wanted it.
He saw personal disagreements transformed into global headlines. Now Charles reportedly welcomed the Sussexes without receiving a retraction, an apology, or any public sign of compromise. From Charles's perspective, this may have been nothing more than a father seeing his son. From William's perspective, it may have looked like the future king carrying another burden created by today's decisions. That is where the real Charles and William divide begins. Charles can follow his emotions because he sees Harry first as his son.
He's still letting them in. He's still let them in. It is quite astonishing because what this unfortunately does, Brittany, is reward bad behavior. Nothing from Harry is going to change at this point.
William has to think about protecting the institution because one day every consequence will fall on his shoulders. Charles may believe one carefully managed afternoon could begin rebuilding trust. William may believe every reopened door teaches Harry that enough pressure eventually gets results. Who is being too harsh? Who is simply being practical? And who will carry the cost if another private family moment becomes tomorrow's public headline? The security argument also faced fresh scrutiny.
On Tuesday, minutes after his court defeat, he told an Invictus audience, what brings us together is far more important than what sets us apart. What sets this family apart is a memoir, 2 documentaries, an Oprah interview, 6 years of litigation, and a statement attacking the king's own court. None of it withdrawn, none of it regretted, and all of it, as of Friday night, rewarded.
And what brings us together is far more important than what sets us apart.
Harry has repeatedly said it was too risky to bring Meghan and the family to Britain without the level of police protection he received as a working royal. Yet Meghan, Archie, and Lily reportedly arrived quietly, reached Highgrove, and later departed without any public incident. That does not mean every possible risk disappeared, but it does show that a discreet visit was possible. After years of saying Britain was too dangerous, did the Sussexes just weaken their own argument by completing the very trip they insisted could not safely happen? According to Taz, that may have been Charles's smartest move of all. His home, his rules, Camilla present, no public spectacle, no apology offered to Meghan, no new royal role.
20 cars went into the Gloucester home of the King and Queen, Highgrove House, for some function to do with some organisation. And hidden within those 20 cars was, indeed, Harry, Meghan, Prince Archie. Is he Prince Archie? I have no idea. Archie and Lilibet.
No official return to royal life. The Sussexes came back under conditions completely controlled by the king. That interpretation turns the meeting from a concession into a calculated test. Harry and Meghan gained contact, but they also showed they could travel quietly, accept Camilla, and enter a royal residence without the conditions they had previously demanded. Did Charles back down, or did he quietly call their bluff? Other commentators saw the situation very differently. Sykes argued Charles politically gave in because Harry wanted royal access and eventually got it.
And William, in this case, I think is totally right. Harry has completely and utterly undermined the monarchy for the last 6 years, done immense damage to it. And Charles, at the end of the day, just kind of rewarded him, didn't make Harry apologize for anything, didn't get any concessions from Harry and Meghan.
Dan Wootton said the meeting rewarded years of public criticism without asking for accountability. Brittany from Royal News Network argued Charles allowed his emotions to outweigh his responsibilities as king. The exact same meeting can therefore be viewed as Charles's greatest move or his biggest mistake. Which version survives may depend entirely on what Harry and Meghan decide to do next. Rob Shooter offered another interesting perspective. He argued Meghan benefited most from her royal connection because her biggest opportunities arrived after marrying Harry, not before.
If you are better up, or whatever, it's better up, right? The company that pays him as, I guess, a glorified ambassador. Are you not sitting back thinking, is this the right guy? I mean, Invictus too. Are you not sitting there going, I don't know if this is the right person to represent us, because he brings destruction, chaos, and a circus wherever he goes.
He suggested she wanted the meeting as a business signal, rather than only a family reunion. That remains his opinion, not a confirmed statement from Meghan herself. Even so, the business logic is easy to understand. The Sussex brand often gains attention whenever the palace connection returns, even without a photograph. Headlines announcing Meghan inside a royal residence remind Hollywood that she is still connected to the king. That is exactly why the meeting and the podcast clash so dramatically. Meghan was said to need the prestige of the royal connection. Harry then appeared on a podcast and shifted attention toward bathroom jokes and awkward humor. She may have wanted the public to remember she married a prince. Harry then struggled to explain what being that prince actually means today. One side of the brand depends on royalty looking valuable. The other side risks making royalty seem less serious.
For Meghan, it's achieved what she wants. It's once again re-established, maybe not been seen, but we read the news story, that they're still part of the royal family. And that, I think, is what people find.
Oh, she didn't want to be part of the royal family. Yeah. She called them racists and everything else.
But brand Sussex is entirely dependent on some sort of association. Hence the reason why when you see all her packaging for her as ever, all I can hope is that the jam, they had some proper jam served at the tea from Highgrove rather than the slop that Meghan calls strawberry spread.
How can that strategy succeed if husband and wife appear to be pulling their public image in completely different directions? Morton also warned that constant conflict can place pressure on any marriage. Look at the timing! Meghan returned to Britain for an extremely rare royal meeting. Harry had the chance to appear calm, focused, and ready to move forward. Instead, the public watched a legal defeat, an angry public statement, and a podcast packed with moments that created even more criticism. Did Meghan hear that interview and feel Harry had strengthened their position? Or did she watch him undermine the serious image the Highgrove visit was supposed to create?
It's always difficult. Like, I think many people can relate to this. If you have a sibling causing trouble in the family, I think the siblings are the first ones to want to do tough love, and the parent is the last one who wants to do the tough love because we're all softies for our kids. So King Charles still can be manipulated by Harry.
Before we continue, one quick thing. One thing I've realized is that most families don't have their important information organized in one place. That's exactly why I recommend the Family Vault, a simple, printable, and fillable organizer where you can keep everything from important documents and insurance to medical information, passwords. You'll find the link in the description, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Now let's get back to today's story. That contradiction now reaches Invictus itself. Harry clearly cares about the games. Veterans continue responding to him. His military background gives him credibility that cannot simply be created overnight. But nearly every public appearance now arrives alongside legal battles, Meghan speculation, royal tension, or another personal controversy. Sykes questioned whether Harry is still the right public face when the conversation keeps becoming about Harry instead of the mission. That may be the biggest issue raised by this podcast.
The king gave enough to look like, okay, he's being kind. He wants to see his grandchildren. Although I still see it as a risk for the king and not so sure it will be a true success for the king just yet.
Not whether the jokes cross the line, but whether Harry can still walk into a room without overshadowing the cause he came to support. Harry reportedly promised Charles he would not discuss what happened during the Highgrove meeting. Good, but that promise should not be treated as something extraordinary. It is the basic expectation after years of interviews, documentaries, and memoir revelations. The real challenge begins when an American network offers him a friendly interview.
By doing that, Harry has just completely undermined the argument that he has spent months making that the country is too unsafe for his family.
When a producer asks for emotional stories, when Meghan releases a memoir, when someone close to the family claims Charles cried, apologized, or made private promises, will Harry finally protect a confidential family moment? Or will the pressure to create new content become too difficult to resist? William may not have to say anything at all. If private details appear, his reported concerns will seem justified. If nothing comes out, Charles may believe his decision was the right one.
So they got over there and she finally got what she wanted. She wanted time with the king. What is the point of marrying a prince of England if you're not going to get FaceTime with the head royal in the palace?
If Harry stays quiet, keeps his attention on Invictus, and stops reopening every old dispute, Morton may even rethink his assessment. But if another public attack follows, another legal fight begins, or another project appears connected to royal access, the cheerful prince many people once knew may feel like a distant memory. Maybe Andrew Morton has already answered that question. Harry still has charisma, but resentment appears to be taking over. The palace once helped shape his public image, controlled access, and shielded him from many difficult moments. Outside that system, the contradictions have become much easier to see.
There's like a toxicity.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's what I think Harry's stuck in, a sort of toxic mess with Meghan.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is.
He wants dignity and shock value, privacy and publicity, independence and royal access, victimhood and authority. Every time he tries to balance all those identities together, the public image seems to crack all over again. So did Charles help Harry recover after a disastrous week? Or did Harry pull Charles into an even bigger controversy? Was Camilla's presence a quiet reminder that the king still has reservations? Is William upset because he rejects reconciliation? Or because he believes he understands the risks better than anyone else? Did Meghan return for family reasons? For the royal connection? Or perhaps both? And after that podcast, does Harry look like someone rebuilding his future? Or like a frustrated prince still searching for the role he wants to play? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Was the podcast simply harmless banter? Or the strongest sign yet that Harry has lost his focus? Did Charles quietly call the Sussexes bluff? Or reward them without receiving any public apology? Should William stand behind his father's decision? Or was this one royal compromise too far? And can Harry finally move forward, stay silent, and keep the spotlight on Invictus? Or has the old, fun-loving prince disappeared for good?